Assalamu alaikum. In disorders of reproductive system, today we will discuss about infertility. So let's have a look what is infertility. According to WHO, it is a disease of reproductive system defined by the failure to achieve a clinical pregnancy after 12 months or more of regular unprotected sexual intercourse. Infertility is the inability of a sexually active non-contracepting couple to achieve pregnancy in 1 year. It is a significant medical and social problem affecting couples worldwide. Female and male factors are equally responsible. Infertility should be evaluated after 1 year of unprotected sexual intercourse. Evaluation of both partners is necessary. Infertility is further subdivided into two types. Type 1 is primary infertility, which refers to a couple who has never had a child, while secondary infertility means that at least one conception has occurred, but currently the couple cannot achieve a pregnancy. It means the woman has previously been pregnant, regardless of the outcome, and now is unable to conceive. Infertility is further described as female infertility and male infertility. While female infertility is a woman of reproductive age who has not conceived after 1 year of unprotected sexual intercourse, in the absence of any known cause of infertility, it accounts for 40 to 50% of infertility. Male infertility refers to a male's inability to cause pregnancy in a fertile female. It accounts for 30 to 40% of infertility. It affects approximately 7% of all men. Risk factors of the infertility involves age more than 30 years, poor diet intake, being overweight or underweight, or recent weight changes, smoking, alcohol intake, caffeine intake, stress or depression, and sedentary lifestyle. Causative factors. In 20%, the infertility is unexplained. The remaining 80% involves medical causes which are equally distributed between men and women. 5 factors are considered basic to infertility. These are ovarian factors, tubal factors, cervical factors, uterine factors, and male factors. Ovarian factors are further subdivided into two types, which are intrinsic ovarian failure and secondary ovarian dysfunction. According to classification of ovulation disorder, which is given by WHO, intrinsic factors fall under the category of group 3. These are due to genetic or autoimmune disorders, which may be due to chemotherapy or radiation exposure. While secondary ovarian dysfunction is further subdivided into 3 types, these involve disorders of gonadotrophin regulation. This dysregulation usually occurs due to hyperprolactinemia. While prolactin is a hormone that is secreted from the anterior lobe of pituitary and is responsible for production of milk during pregnancy and after birth. High prolactin level causes reduction in gonadotrophin hormones. These gonadotrophin hormones are follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. The ultimate result is loss of ovarian stimulation, leading to ovarian failure. On the second number is disorders of gonadotrophin deficiency, which are due to pituitary tumors. On the third, disorders of gonadotrophin action. These are due to polycystic ovary syndrome. Tubal factors. These involve tubal abnormalities, which may be blocked fallopian tubes due to any previous surgery or ectopic pregnancy. Cervical factors may involve very thick or dry sticky mucus, acidic mucus, or anti-sperm antibodies. Uterine factors of infertility involves anatomical changes or functional abnormalities. Anatomical changes involve fibroid, polyps, congenital malformations, and adhesions formation, while functional abnormalities may involve any disease, for example endometriosis. Male factors can be caused by low sperm production, abnormal sperm function, blockage that prevent the delivery of sperm, illnesses, injuries, and chronic health problems. Diagnosis of infertility. It involves the evaluation of ovulatory dysfunction, which is done by taking menstrual history, basal body temperature, serum progesterone level, serum hormonal testing. Evaluation of tubal factors comes on the second number. This is done via hysterosalpingography, laparoscopy, sonohysteroscopy. Evaluation of cervical factors come on the third number. These are done via cultures or postcoital mucus examination. Evaluation of uterine factors involve taking endometrial biopsy or doing hysteroscopy or laparoscopy, and also involves ultrasonography. Evaluation of male factors involve taking medical history and doing semen analysis. Infertility is often difficult to treat because it frequently results from a combination of factors, but management may be divided into 5 steps, which involves: number 1, non-pharmacological therapy, pharmacological therapy, surgical treatment, assisted reproductive technology, and treatment for male infertility. Non-pharmacological therapy involves couple education, smoking cessation, limit alcohol intake, maintenance of BMI between 19 to 29 kg, folic acid supplementation, stress management, and education regarding fertile period. Pharmacological therapy involves treating the ovulation failure, which is most commonly done by administration of clomiphene citrate. It enhances the release of pituitary gonadotropin, resulting in ovulation. On the second number, pulsatile gonadotropin releasing hormone may be given. Administration can result in ovulation in some women with low hormone level. Bromocriptine, administered to treat ovulation problems due to high level of prolactin. Metformin is used when insulin resistance is a known cause or suspected cause of infertility. Usually in women with a diagnosis of PCOS, metformin helps to improve insulin resistance, which can make ovulation more likely to occur. And on the last comes the treatment of any infection, for example, treating the pelvic inflammatory disease. Surgical treatments are done to correct any anatomical abnormalities. They may be done via laparoscopy or hysteroscopy. It involves lysis of adhesions, septoplasty, tuboplasty, or myomectomy. Assisted reproductive technology. These techniques involve manipulation of sperm and ova or embryos in vitro with the goal of producing a pregnancy. It includes following 4 techniques: IVF-ET, which stands for in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. On the second number comes ZIFT, which is zygotic intrafallopian transfer. On the third number comes ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. On the fourth number comes intrauterine insemination. In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization means fertilization that occurs outside the body. Being the most effective infertility treatment, IVF is often used when a woman's fallopian tubes are blocked or man has low sperm count tissue. Zygotic intrafallopian transfer. ZIFT is very much similar to IVF as fertilization occurs in the laboratory. In this procedure, instead of the uterus, the healthy resulting embryo is transferred to the fallopian tubes. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. It is often suggested to the couples who are struggling with infertility because of male infertility. A single healthy sperm is directly injected into a mature egg. After that, the embryo is transferred to the uterus or the fallopian tube. On the fourth number comes intrauterine insemination. It is often referred to artificial or donor insemination, in which sperm directly is put into the uterus. This puts the sperm very closer to the egg. Treatment of male infertility involves medical management, that is, treatment of infections or hormonal replacement therapy to correct hormonal imbalance. Surgical management involves surgical correction of any blockage in the obstructive azoospermia, and ART, that is assisted reproductive therapy. Nursing management assist in reducing stress, encourage cooperation, protect privacy, because infertility workups are expensive, time consuming, invasive, and stressful, and not always successful. Couples need support in working together to deal with this endeavor. Instruct to take balanced diet, regular exercise, advise to adopt stress reduction techniques, and continue health maintenance. This is all about infertility. Thank you.